Hello, Drunk Theology fans. Good to be here with you on this beautiful May 12th. May 12th is a special day in my life because it was the day that my daughter, my baby, Rachel, was born. And she was born on Mother's Day. So it was a beautiful time, and I just want to wish her a happy birthday. And those of you who remember Rachel, you can go ahead and give her a call as well. But I'm here today because I'm here to talk about the Drunk Theology book review or book club. And we are now getting started on that. I'm excited about it. And so here is the first book that we are looking at. We are looking at Hinds' Feet on High Places by Hurnard. And I got to tell you, this is a great book. This is a great book. You know, I've been rereading it. This is probably the third time I've gone through it, and I mean, I've read it before years ago, read it again, and I don't know. It seems to just be a book that it reminds you of your walk and your journey on this planet, and walking in the hand of the shepherd. Just very powerful, and on our website there at www.drunktheology101.com. I'll be leaving my extended comments on various chapters that have spoken to me throughout the years, and also with how they're speaking to me now. You just go to that website, go to the forum, register your name, and you become part of the club, and you can put in your own comments. You can even make book recommendations there. But this is our first foray into this new endeavor, and I'm excited about it, and I hope you are too. This is a great book, Hinds' Feet on High Places, and you can get it at Amazon.com or wherever you get your literature. You can get it at ChristianBooks.com. That's where I go. But for some of my materials, so I encourage you to do that. Also, there are links at the website in the forum for that book. So, or even on my YouTube videos. So you'll see the links for that today. But you know, I got to tell you, what I find fascinating about the book is that it really chronicles. And I'm never quite sure. I believe that this is based on her own journey, and never quite sure about that. But I'll tell you what, it affects all of us, and because you can read it and see the development of the character and see it in your own life. You know, Much Afraid is the main character in it, along with the shepherd and along with her companions' sorrow and suffering, and then all of her family members, resentment and craven fear and pride and just all these things, and that how they are constantly attacking her on her journey to the high places. And it's in that journey that, you know, here she's malformed. She's, not a very pretty person, and is lame. And the shepherd has made promises to her that she's going to be beautiful, that she's going to have hinds feet like a roe and be able to go from mountaintop to mountaintop and all these things. And it's very similar to like our promise. I don't know about you, but I know in my journey, there have been times. Oh, and that's the other thing. But I'll get to that. There are times where God has just spoken to me, and I know that it was the Lord, and I know that He was giving me encouragement and promises and about my life. And then when you see her on this journey, questioning, because it's taking forever. It's taking so long, and it seems to be going in the opposite direction of what she's supposed to be doing, or at least what she believes she's supposed to be doing. And to have her companions there just to struggle along with her, to help her along, and yet Her companions are sorrow and suffering. And oh gosh, you know, it just reminds me a lot of the Christian journey. You know, it also reminds me it's very Abrahamic. I mean, think about it. Abraham in the scriptures was, you know, called by God to leave his family, to leave his culture, to leave his home, to leave his country, all for the sake of a great journey that's going to be an adventure, that's going to wind up with him being a father of nations and all this grandeur. And yet immediately after taking his family out, I think he was about 70, 75 years of age, taking his family and leaving, behind his kin and his friends and his neighbors and his, and his country. And he winds up, the first place he goes to is a place of famine, where there's not enough food. Hold it. I thought God called you to this. I thought God had called you to this place. What kind of God is that? And then, so to escape the famine, he goes to Egypt, the place where you don't want to go, because it's a dictatorship, as it were, and the land of the pharaohs, and you don't want to go there. And when he gets there, they try to take his wife from him. It's like, I thought God was with you, and that's kind of like our journey. I mean, I can look and say, I know God told me to do this, or I know God told me to do that. I know that the Lord spoke to me to go this way. And why is everything so jacked up? How can this be? Did I miss God? Am I living a fantasy? And then there's all these family members that are going around saying, yeah, what a fool you are. What are you doing? And that's where we find, Much Afraid. A lot of times our family members just pop out, out of nowhere and just start accusing her and ridiculing her. And then the shepherd comes at the right opportune moment to encourage her. But it's amazing the progression that's there. I think it's about the 12th chapter. She's on this journey, and yeah, she's no longer having to climb. It seems like everything's flat, but she's in a place on the mountain where, while it's all flat, it's all clouds and no sunlight. You can't even see the forest, just the trees that are nearby, and it's murky and it's wet and so it seems like it should be easy because it's all flat, and she's becoming discouraged. And her family says, he deceived you. And then when the shepherd does appear, he appears because she starts singing a song. And he said, you need to learn to sing all the time. That's one of the things that's important is worship. Music and worship is incredibly important, because it takes your mind off of yourself, takes your heart and your ears out of range of those resentment and despair and fear and pride and all those things that discourage and say, go back. Takes you out of that frame of mind and puts you following the shepherd. But then the shepherd says something so incredibly scary. He says, what if I have deceived you? What then? Wow. I thought he couldn't deceive. I thought, you're not a man that you should lie, nor the son of man that you should repent. You mean it's possible that you've deceived me? There have been times I have felt that way in my journey. Like, so far, this isn't what was spoken to me. So far, this isn't the promises that you've given to me. What is taking place? What is going on? Have you deceived me? And the question he asks her, what if I have deceived you? What then? And I love her answer. She says to him, and I'm paraphrasing it, like I said, it's about the 12th chapter. And we can comment on this on the website, but if I'm wrong. But I think she said something to the fact that if it's your desire to deceive me, then so be it. I will still follow you. And then he says to her, actually speaking to himself, he says, if I can, I will deceive her. And then he leaves. It's like, whoa, what's that about? But you see, it's like Job. It really is, it's the Job position that after everything has gone wrong, that could possibly go wrong, he cries out and says, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Because he knows the ultimate good. He knows the ultimate reason. I can't see it. I'm in this murky forest, and I can barely see the trees that are beside me, but I'm going to trust him. And when you have that mindset, man, he comes in, and the sun begins to shine. But you got to go on from there, and it may not be what you want. I'm going to leave the end of the book for you to read, but man, I'll tell you, it's a powerful book. I get involved, start reading this book, Hinds' Feet on High Places, Hannah Hurnard. You're going to enjoy it, and it's going to be a source of encouragement, a source of reflection, self-reflection. Where am I at in my journey? And that's not a bad thing, to self-reflect, because if everything's always, peaches and cream, maybe you're not going in the right direction, because every one of his servants in the scripture are tried and tested, and for most of the journey until you come to that high place. Very powerful. I want you to get involved with that, as well as the other two books I have up there right now, The Knowledge of the Holy. I'll be commenting on that by A.W. Tozier here in the next week or so, and also 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. I know he's got a new book out, and I'm excited to pick that up and read it. But I think you got to start with the 12 rules first. So anyway, we're going to be looking at some other things as well, but those are just starters. And as I said, you want to make a recommendation, welcome to make a recommendation. And if you will, please remember to go to my Patreon at Rev C.H. Brown and become a patron. I greatly appreciate it during these times especially, but it encourages me to know that people are wanting this kind of this kind of product, this kind of information, this kind of dialogue. So just go there to my Patreon. Also, you can find the link for it there in YouTube in the description, or if you're watching this on Instagram, in my bio. And thank you for all of your help. Thank you for listening, and be watching for later on this week a release of Revelations. I believe we're going into chapter 8, which is quite interesting. Anyway, God bless you guys. Keep safe, keep healthy. Shalom.